Coming up, the harvest season in full swing, how area farmers are reaping the fruits of their labor in a season impacted by drought.
Demonstrators march on City Hall in Fargo, urging leaders to take action on climate concerns.
Plus, a new investigation launched into that deadly U.S. strike, that drone strike in Afghanistan. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and happy Friday, everyone. As harvest season is in full swing, the North Dakota Department of Agriculture says the majority of crops this year are either in fair or poor condition.
Valley News Live's Alex Larson spoke with one farmer to see how the ongoing drought is impacting the harvest.
Hillsboro farmer John Birch says he started harvesting soybeans but has not yet started on corn.
I have heard of other people in the area that have harvested corn. That one seems to be taking a pretty big hit. That one wants more moisture in a timely fashion than, say, a soybean. So they have seen a hit, I've heard there, in regards to yield. You look at, like in our area, around that 130-ish area, which is low.
Some farmers have also reported smaller soybeans this year.
That, of course, adds up to your bushels, and then also test weight. Test weight has been a little bit on the lighter side and smaller beans. And the whole problem is that we didn't get moisture to fill the pods, and so the beans didn't fill out, and especially the top pods on the plant did not fill out. So that is what we're seeing.
Sugar beet harvest starts October 1st, but with temperatures predicted to be in the 70s next week, farmers could potentially run into some problems.
When we're this hot now for this long, sugar beet guys need it cooler because they will not take the sugar beets at the factory because they can't keep sugar beets at that high of a temperature. They want to get them out of the ground, but they will not allow them to get them out of the ground if it's 70 degrees or above.
The problem for next year will be if the conditions are similar to 2021.
Used up quite a bit of subsoil moisture right now. So if we go into next year without some good snow cover and without some timely rains next year will be tough.
Birch says so far this year, the weather has been cooperative for harvest. In Hillsboro, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Now, according to the National Drought Database, this is the 7th driest year in the last 127 years for North Dakota.
Farmers who were forced to sell livestock due to the drought may have an extra year to replace them. That's the latest today from the IRS. They also say farmers can defer tax on any gains from the forced sales. To qualify, farmers or ranchers that qualified for the 4-year replacement period must have sold livestock solely due to drought conditions between September 2020 and last month. Sales of other livestock raised for slaughter or held for sporting purposes are not eligible.
Well, a nice night weather-wise for high school football and just about anything else outside. Hutch joins us now for a preview of what we can expect for the weekend. Hutch.
Tom, thanks so much indeed. It's cooling off rather rapidly, though, on this very chilly day, as we saw temperatures plummet quite a bit over what we were yesterday at this time. 10 to 20 degrees cooler across our region as we head into our Friday night, and Saturday morning looks to be even chillier. As we take a look at current temperatures, we do have a lot of areas in the mid-40s from Lakes Country all the way out towards Jamestown and Oaks, and there is actually a frost advisory that's been posted for the James River Valley and for the Cheyenne River Valley and points west. We do have some clouds off to the northern portions of Minnesota, and these are driving their way into the northern valley right now and northwest Minnesota. Those will help blanket in some warmth in our area. So not all of us will get frost, but there will be a chance of some patchy frost here and there, particularly to the west. Make sure you cover those tender plants. And stay tuned, because I'll have details on a beautiful warm-up coming up here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks a lot, Hutch. Appreciate that.
I was recently asked what's changed in the last 5 years that has spurred you on to action. And the real answer to that is nothing has changed.
That protester was one of 50 who marched on the Hill in front of Fargo City Hall this afternoon.
Valley News Live's Aaron Walling spoke with organizers who say they want to pressure city leaders to address their climate concerns.
They can't stop the revolution. We are the climate solution.
Dozens of people marched from Island Park in downtown Fargo to City Hall, calling for climate action. I think it's super essential. I think there's a lot of people that care about this issue. Like studies have shown that most Americans are very passionate about climate change and want to see substantial policy change to help this issue.
According to those in attendance, the goal of the rally was to put pressure on city, county, state, and federal officials to take action. Jess Mueller, the MSUM student body president, says changes should have been made yesterday.
It's been here and it's not going away anytime soon. We need to act now. We need to act yesterday to make sure that our politicians and our local, federal and state policymakers understand that people are out here, even in greater Minnesota, out in North Dakota. We care about climate change and we expect to see change enacted.
Organizers describe the groups represented as climate justice organizations, including Stop Line 3 and the Knights of the Climate Covenant.
Fridays for the Future is the spearheading these events around the world, and we are one of more than 1,000 events happening right now today.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Now, the organizers tell Valley News Live events like these are important for organizing themselves to accomplish their goals.
New for you at 10. What's next for Alfonso Rodriguez is not clear tonight. Prosecutors say they're still deciding whether to appeal after a federal judge threw out the death sentence. The sentence was given to Alfonso Rodriguez Jr. in 2006 in the death of college student Rushadeen. Judge Ralph Erickson cited what he called misleading testimony from a medical examiner and failures by defense attorneys to say a new sentencing phase would be warranted. The hefty question now facing prosecutors deciding on an appeal comes as executions nationwide are on hold as President Biden personally opposes capital punishment.
The watchdog for the Pentagon is investigating last month's U.S. drone strike in Afghanistan, which killed 10 civilians, including 7 children. The Defense Department Inspector General announced a review of the deadly incident on August 29th. That's when U.S. drone operatives fired a missile at a car in a Kabul compound. At the time, U.S. military officials assert the car was carrying explosives being delivered to the airport in Kabul. The Inspector General says it will look into the department's pre-strike targeting process and its post-strike reporting of information.
The mayors of Fargo and West Fargo tonight saying mask mandates will not be implemented anytime soon. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney going as far as saying the possibility is not on the table. Rather, they're joining other elected officials to urge vaccination. Today, local health officials spoke out on limited hospital capacities, staffing shortages, and the rationing of monoclonal antibody treatments.
I'm appealing to you directly to put Facebook down and Instagram and Twitter, and again, look at the numbers. I know you think you're going to be fine if you get COVID, and chances are you will be fine if you get COVID. I'm not worried about you. I've never been worried about you. I'm worried about the 10 people, that's a real number by the way, the 10 people you're going to give it to before you realize that you're even sick.
Along with the push for people to get the first shot comes with the option for some to get their third. Boosters are available at several locations in our neck of the woods for those who got the Pfizer shot and are at least 65 years old or an essential worker. To help you find where to get the shots, use our VNL vaccine tracker. That's on the homepage of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen. Then just tap the link that pops up.
The group One Fargo hosted a candlelight vigil tonight at Island Park to honor the life of a community activist who died after an apparent battle with COVID-19. Anaway Masiak posted on Facebook just 2 days before her death that she was diagnosed with the virus. She was active in the BLM community and instrumental in organizing Fargo's George Floyd-inspired march. Expect delays in downtown Fargo. It's Fargo Marathon weekend. Tomorrow, Broadway will be closed to all north and southbound traffic, as well as cross traffic moving east and west from 2nd Avenue North and 4th Avenue North. If you're heading downtown, the best way to go is to take Main Avenue and park at the Island Park ramp, or go north on Broadway from Main and use the NP public parking lot.
We're still receiving calls from some viewers who are having a reception problem with the Channel 11 signal that involves DirecTV customers. DirecTV continues to tell us their equipment is not properly receiving our signal. Our signal is functioning normally. We're working together to get that problem fixed as quickly as possible.
Still ahead tonight, a busy night in high school football. Devin is getting those highlights and scores ready for you as we speak.
And today's temperatures rose, but not too high. It's a little breezy, just below average, though. 64, your peak reading today in the Grand Forks area. And we have frost on the way for some of us as we start out our weekend. I'll have hour-by-hour details. Join me. Weather is next.